When you see a dark screen, the phone is sleeping. It will of course ring, but it's sleeping. So if you want to activate the screen, click any of these buttons. So now it's on. Okay, when you first get to the phone to your new office, you need to reprogram the Wi-Fi. So you go menu, okay, and you enter the main menu, and you can navigate around with these arrows, okay. And so you go to basic, and then you go down to Wi-Fi, and you go to number 5, 10 available networks. You choose the network you want to be on. So let's say I want to go to Ultra Bolliger. It's now going to ask you the password. So you go. It's like the old phones, the Nokia old phones. So in our case, it's Bolliger. Okay. So Bolliger. Okay, and then you go connect. It's going to think a little bit, and you're connected. Okay, and then you can go back, and you're back to your main screen. Now, every now and again, I will have to do an update to the phone. Maybe you need the numbers changed, maybe we need to do something to the phone. So to do that, I'm going to update it on the system, and then I'm going to let you know, please do an update. So that's called provisioning. So you go menu, and remember you can move around with these arrows, and you go to basic, and then you go all the way down to the bottom, number 10. And it says update configuration, and you go okay, and it says provision now. You go okay, and that's it. Now you can go back, and now in a few minutes it's going to update with the new settings. Okay, so the most important thing I want everybody to remember when we're dealing with the phones is I want Stefano to be the main person that people speak to the first time they call Bolliger. He's sales, he's the front man of the company, and he's good at taking the information necessary and then turning it into a sale. So I really want to stress that Stefano is basically the main person who's going to be answering the phone. However, at the same time, I don't want to ignore calls. So it's important that when you see the phone ring, that you look at Stefano's light to see if it's red or green. If it's green, it means he's at his desk. Stefano's light is the one at the top left. You see it's green at the moment. The top left. Nora is top right, Katalin is bottom left, and I'm bottom right. Now, it's also very important for Stefano to know if Nora is available or if Katalin is available. We all need to know if we're available now that we're basically all working remotely. So to do that, the way we're going to communicate whether we're at our desk or not is via these green and red lights. So it's important to remember, really important, that Stefano, if all the lights are green, Stefano is probably going to pick up the call. However, if you notice that Stefano, when the phone rings, look at the screen, look at the light. If he's red, then somebody else is going to have to pick up the phone. So reach for the phone and try and pick it up. So this begs the question, what happens when I need to go for a coffee, or when Stefano needs to go for a coffee, or the bathroom, or to lunch? We need a method to say, right, I'm stepping away for 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 1 minute, an hour. Somebody else has to take these calls. And to do that, it's two buttons, okay? So it's the message button here. All right, listen for the voice.
Please enter extension number.
And then hold. okay? And you see that the light is turned red. So this is Nora's phone. So in this example, it's Nora's phone that is turned red. This means that she can step away, she can go make a coffee, she can go to the bathroom, she can go for lunch, okay? And when she gets back, or anybody gets back, end call. And it goes back to green. So everybody knows that she's back at her desk, or Stefano's back at his desk, or Kataline's back at his desk. And it's really critical that we pay a lot of attention to these red and green lights. And this is why I got these specific phones, because we're not in the same office anymore. So we can't just look around and say, Nora's not at her desk. Now, so let's just see that again. Message, hold. And we're ready. And we're red. And call, and we're green. Okay? Okay, so clients call at all sorts of weird times. They call at night, they call in the evening, they call in the weekends, they call on Sundays, they call on Sunday nights. I know because when I'm in the office, I often hear the phone ring. So, obviously we don't want the phone ringing at midnight in our homes, especially when we're remote. This is not so much a problem for people who are working in the office, because they leave the office and if the phone rings, nobody cares. But if you're working from home, then you don't want the phone ringing at midnight. So there's instead of just putting the sound down, and I strongly recommend you don't do that, because you won't notice that the sound is down. So you'll go, you come back on Monday morning and you won't realize that your phone has been on silent, and that's why people have been trying to pass you calls all morning and haven't managed. So what you do at the end of the day, when you've finished, when you're stepping away from the desk for the last time, for the weekend, you put DND, do not disturb. So you've got this little sign here that says do not disturb. So Monday morning you look at your phone and like, so do not disturb. I need to take it off. Okay, so this makes it silent. So it means it won't call anymore. And that's for the weekends, and that's for the end of the day. But this also means that we need to be very meticulous about our times, because as you notice, when you put do not disturb, there's no signal to everybody else, or the lights stay green, okay? It's not like when you do a step away from the desk, which you do this, where it goes red. It's not like that, okay? It's the end of the day, it's 6 o'clock, and you finished, you're tired, you don't want to hear the phone ring anymore, you put D&D, okay? But this means that we need to be very precise about when we start and when we finish. So we know Catalin starts at 8 and he finishes at 5. Now, otherwise, so if it's after 5 o'clock UK time, there's no point in trying to pass the Catalin, even though he's green, because we know he's gone. But everybody else knows that between 9 a.m. in UK time and 6 p.m. UK time, if the lights are green, you can pass to each other. Apart from Catherine, who stops at 5. Okay? That's the rule. So we need to be really precise. So it can't be 9:15, that we can't start work at 9:15, because if Stefano comes in and he needs to pass Nora a call and she hasn't started yet, then her light's going to be green and he's going to try and pass it a call, and it's going to be not good. So everybody, let's make a point of starting on time and then finishing when is necessary. So between 9 and 6 during the day on weekdays, we are available to pass calls, unless we are red. It goes red when you're speaking on the phone or when you do the stepping away from the desk because we're going to make a coffee. Okay? Does that make sense? So D&D for the evenings and weekends, and make red when we're stepping away for a coffee or for lunch. Okay? Okay, so say you want to pass a call. So a client is about to call us. Okay? Okay. You pick up the phone. Yes, Mr. Client. Yes, hello. How can I help you? You want to speak to Katalin, is that right? Okay. So all you have to do, you want to pass it to Katalin. There's the green light next to Katalin. Press on Katalin. Katalin will eventually receive the call. 1 second. There we go. Hey, Katalin, it's Nora. I've got this client. I'm gonna pass him to you. And all you do is hang up. And now, Katalin and the client are in contact. And while the client was on hold, he was listening to music. Okay? Bene. Okay, so let's say you're going to pass a call, but the person on the other end doesn't pick up. So, you receive a call. Hello, Mr. Client. How you doing? Yes, you want to speak to Katalin? I'm gonna pass you. 1 second. So, press. And now you can hear the phone ringing. You're waiting for Katalin to pick up. He doesn't pick up. To take back the call so you can speak to the client, you press cancel and then resume. Hello, Mr. Client. I'm afraid that Katalin is not at his desk at the moment. Can I take your name and number and I'll get him to call you back? Thank you very much. Bye, bye, bye. So the main screen that you see, is divided in 2 pages. And so the very bottom right button lets you change between the pages, where you've got some speed dials, they're called. So in the first page, you've got Stefano, Katalin, Nora, and Clement, and you can see if they're available. If it's green, you can call them and they're sitting at their desk. If it's red, it means they're either on a call or they've set it so that they're away from the desk. However, there's other numbers. There's Yanut, there's Giorgio, there's Catalin's cellular, there's Clement's cell, there's Robbie's cell. Obviously, there's a whole bunch of other numbers which are useful to different people. If you want to, let's say you want to call Clement's cell, very simple. And you can even speak in viva voce if you want. You can do that with all calls, by the way. Or you can pick up. And I'm getting the call right now. Okay? And now you're back to square. Remember that you can change your pages with here. With this bottom right-hand corner. Now, if you want to call somebody back, somebody's called you, you don't have the number, you want to see their number, you have this little button, History, which is very useful, and you've got all calls, which sometimes can be confusing, but you can look at missed calls, but that includes all the missed calls that have come to the office. So if Stefan has picked them up, you will still see it as a missed call, I think. But say you want to call somebody back that you've just called. You go to placed calls. If you've received a call and you don't have their number, you go to received calls, and so you can get their number. Okay, and now I'm going to go to place calls. I'm going to go to, this is my number that I've just called, and you just do send. And so it's calling me again. Okay. Okay, so when you get a call, so I'm going to now call, okay, you can obviously answer, and you can put on hold, okay? You can probably hear, this is the music that the client hears, okay? Now, in theory, you can make another call if you want, all right? While the client is on hold, you can call me, all right? Or you could call somebody else. So say you want to speak really quickly to Stefan or ask him a really quick question while the client is on hold. You can do that. And then once you come back to this this screen, you've got two choices. Either you hang up on the client, which is extremely rude, so please don't do that, or you can go resume, which is how you take them off hold. And so now they're back off hold, and the two clients could speak, and you can speak to the client again. So hold and resume, and try not to end the call on him. That's why it's in red. And forget the transfer. The transfer is much easier. You just hit that button. But what's this? And then otherwise you can make a call and say, right, let's call Clement really quickly, ask him a question, and then resume the call once he's on hold. Does that make sense?